All right, guys, today we're going to talk about putting a transponder in your car correctly. There's three basic types of transponders. This is an older style. There's still a lot of these around. The one that you'll probably find most of is a 2-wire. There's 2 wires coming out, black and red. And then the newest one is a 3-wire transponder. There's a red, black, and a white. And if the track you're racing at has kept their software up to date, any and all the AMB and MyLapse transponders will work. They're a little bit different. The older style, when you plug it in, it's a solid orange light and it stays solid. The newer, the smaller styles, they're a blinking light, and you should have a nice bright blinking transponder, and it's about 1 blink per second. If it's blinking really fast, like 5 times a second, that means your voltage is too low or too high, or you have the transponder plugged in backwards. And then the newer style is very similar to the 2-wire, but it has this extra wire in there. It also has a slow blink. The new ones come with this little holder that you can put some small screws and hold it inside your car. Actually put the transponder in your car. In most cases you're going to plug it right into the receiver. Occasionally people do plug it directly into a battery lead, which is fine because you can put up to 12 volts to the transponder. But this particular receiver has 4 ports. There's a steering, throttle, auxiliary, and a bind port, and you can plug your transponder into any of those. If you're using the 3-wire, you don't want to plug it in the bind port with the white wire still in there, because that can put your receiver into bind mode. So if you only have 3 ports, or you need to use the bind, you can go into the plug here and you can take the white wire out of the plug, and then you can safely plug it into the bind port, and you won't have any issues. Now this white wire on the new transponders is used for telemetry, for you can actually get voltage and temperature. Once this is in there, normally you're going to route it the same way the other wires come out, and you want to find a secure place to mount it. Ideally, you want to use the 3 screws and the little holder, and you can get these holders additionally, so you can have a holder in each car, and then the transponder slides out and you would slide it into your other car. A lot of people use Velcro, and they'll put a Velcro tab on the transponder and one on the car, and this seems to work quite well. What we recommend though is don't do it just like this. Before you put it on the Velcro, wrap it around something else, just so in case the Velcro comes loose, the transponder is not going to end up in your gears or dragging along the ground. So that's just kind of a safety in case the Velcro pops loose. Another key, and you'll read this in the directions, is you want to have the transponder mounted as low as possible to the track, and also you have to keep it horizontal. The transponder actually sends a signal out. If you mount it sideways, it still might work, but you're not going to be picking up full strength when you cross the wiring loop. And if you go to practice with the system on, the decoder which picks up the signal of your transponder actually has a strength. And if you're talking to the race director or somebody at the track, they can tell you if your transponder is putting out a nice strong signal. In the directions, they specifically tell you don't mount it on a carbon fiber chassis, don't mount it on aluminum chassis, don't mount it on top of a servo. All those things can weaken the signal. And so if you do have to do that, because some of the cars are pretty tight now, run it over the loop and get an idea on how strong your signal is. Transponder comes with directions. They have pictures too, but they do actually give you directions on the do's and don'ts. And there's quite a bit of information here. A lot of RC cars actually suffer from self-generated interference. With the 2.4 radio system, it's very rare that you'll get something from outside interfering with your car. If there's something wrong with your car glitching or that, it's 99% coming from your car, not from something outside. To see if it's the transponder, if you're getting some glitching or interference, unplug the transponder, go right back out, drive it around. If the glitching goes away, then you know there could be an issue. And this particular setup with the transponder over the receiver, they tell you don't do that either. So you want to find a better spot. Another issue is all these wires running together. Sometimes the wiring can cause interference. If you unplug the transponder and it doesn't go away, you know it's not your transponder. But you can unplug just the red or the black wire out of a particular item and see if the interference goes away. But keeping your wiring nice and neat can help. So in this particular case, I would mount this more up here to keep it away from the electronic components. And again, it's best to mount it permanently with the little holder, or if you do Velcro, run it through something else or zip tie it so just in case the Velcro comes loose. If you don't have enough ports, if you're running a fan or something, these Y connectors are great, and you can wire the transponder into any of the ports. So even the steering or the throttle, you plug this in, plug your throttle or your steering, the transponder will run right off of that. Ideally, you want to have a transponder for each of your cars. They're about $100, but they do retain their value. So you can use them for 4 or 5 years, or even these ones that are going on 10, 20 years old still sell for $60, $70 if they're in good shape. So it's highly recommended you have a transponder for each car, have it mounted semi-permanently to where you're getting a good strong signal. And then if you ever decide you don't need it, you can get most of the value, and it will actually save you money from having to rent one at the track. Again, I would encourage everybody to read the directions, because all this is covered in there. And then when you go to the track, go when it's not very busy, have the system on, and it will tell you if you're getting a nice strong signal, and you can actually move the transponder around, run it across the loop, and find out where in your car is the best place to run it. So hopefully this helps, and have a great day.